Hey folks, happy Cob Tuesday. Still giving this one a workout called a Washington. It's the one I did the restoration on. Smoking some sophisticate. That's what you all think of when you see me sitting here. It's an adjective that doesn't often get bandied about when talking about me. That's okay. Kind of in recovery mode. You all saw well, most of you saw it. You didn't. Anyway, we took the kids up to Six Flags Discovery Kingdom up in Vallejo yesterday. My wife won 4 tickets on the radio a few weeks ago. Was all excited because we couldn't really afford to do that. And all of a sudden we got free tickets. I told her, you realize we're still going to spend like $250 even though we got free tickets, right? He's like, no. We'll have to eat, we'll have to park, have to pay toll. Have to buy the kids something to prevent a meltdown. Anyway, it was fun. I mean, we had a good time. It's difficult for me to do that, to walk around all day and but I want to do it. I want to do whatever I can with my kids when I can, even though I can't. It's kind of like, oh, you shouldn't eat that pizza and drink that soda. Yeah, I know. Good though, isn't it? So we went the very first ride. I don't remember the names of most of them, not that that would help you any, but it's one of those where it kind of drags you up a hill and then you go the opposite way and it goes through like a corkscrew and it goes back and forth a couple of times until it goes all the way up to the end. My oldest boy loves to ride roller coasters, and I always have too. I love them. But it's difficult to do with back problems. And I'm finding out it's difficult to do being as big as I am. I'm not a huge guy, but I've got mass where it counts, I guess, and as far as sitting in a roller coaster seat. Anyway, I tried to get on that one with him, and they couldn't get the little thing to close down over me. My chest mainly sticks out too far. Sorry, I thought I heard a delivery truck. You know how excited we get when a delivery truck comes around. So he rode that one by himself. He's okay riding them by himself. He doesn't care. Then we tried to ride one that the youngest one wanted to ride. He was all excited about. Got over to it and it was shut down. They didn't know when it would reopen. So he was bummed. Anyway, we rode pretty much everything we wanted to ride. A couple of times for some. I've got my little one on a couple of bigger coasters. That was fun. Rode the soak you to the bone river rampage kind of ride. As much as I like that ride, I don't like walking around soaking wet. I chafe easily. But we did it anyway. My wife, I think she caught the worst of that. Me and her both got pretty much soaked, but she was in line with the little waterfall that you go under. They had a couple of roller coasters. They had three, really, really four that I really enjoyed. I managed to fit in all of them except that one, so that was a good thing. A couple of them it was uncomfortable, but I wasn't going anywhere. I was probably the most secure passenger on the ride. They got this one called Superman. The whole park is based on, I guess, DC Comics. But this Superman was one like I'd never been on before. It shot you up one way and then jetted you back down the other way. And you went vertical and did corkscrews and all this stuff, but the drops in it weren't like, typical roller coaster drops where you go down the hill and do this, that. They were past vertical. You were hanging out, going like back down that way, in the, like, I don't know what the degrees of them were, probably like 100 degrees or 98 degrees or something like that. Past 90-degree vertical. That was interesting. And it did that twice. It wasn't a track kind of roller coaster where you start at one point and go around and end back at that point. It was closed-ended on both sides. So it kind of did a reverse kind of, movement, and you stop back in the middle. You were upside down for a significant amount of time on that ride. I was more worried about losing my glasses than anything else. They stayed secure somehow. If it had been hot, I probably would have taken them off before every ride because they would have slipped off my face. So Superman was a cool ride. There was one called Medusa. It was supposedly got up to 65 miles per hour, and I can't remember how you were sitting in a seat, but your feet were free hanging. There was no bottom to it. I think that was the smoothest roller coaster I've ever been on. Not a lot of jerkiness, real quiet, super fast. multiple loops and twists and turnbacks and all kinds of stuff in it. And it was a long roller coaster. It was a good one. We pretty much, it used to be kind of an animal kingdom kind of place where they had animal shows and dolphins and elephants and tigers and all kinds of different stuff. They still have the dolphins. And the tigers, but their show is largely an environmental preaching session. So you have to be at the show at 1 o'clock or whatever to get a seat. Starts at like 1:45, and then the show's literally like 15 minutes. And you have to try to trudge your way back out of there. My wife likes those kind of things, but it's not like it used to be when she was a kid. Anyway, it didn't cut into our enjoyment really. The tiger one, they build that. They have 9 different tigers, and they do all these tricks and jump and climb and do all this swim and all this other stuff. They brought one of them out, just swam around for us, and did a couple of other things, and the other one did a couple of jumps. Then they brought a younger tiger out. They never had more than one out there at one time. Brought a younger one out there that did a couple of things, and that was it. Anyway, we went through the whole day and spent way too much money on really crappy food like you always do. Right as the day was ending, we decided to go back and try to check out the Joker ride one more time to see if it ever opened up, and it did. So me and my boys got back in line. My wife doesn't do coasters, big ones anyway. We got in line and got up there and got seated, and it was like an old, kind of like the one I shot that video from. You're just sitting in a little car, sitting on a bench seat kind of thing. You've got a seat belt across your lap, and that little bar comes down across your lap as well. It fit nice and snug, and I noticed it had like these little C-shaped things that went around your legs, so your legs were kind of locked into place too. I'd never seen that on that kind of ride. And you can't really see much of the ride from outside. So I just thought it was going to be, another kind of up and down around corners and stuff like that kind of coaster. That thing took off. It went up a big hill, big hill. And its drop was almost vertical as well. I felt like I was coming out of the seat. That thing proceeded to twist and corkscrew and do loops, and you were upside down and all kinds of stuff. I did not expect it to do that. especially without shoulder harnesses. But it was a really aptly named ride. I thought of the Joker. It kind of tricked you into something else. My little one loved it. He absolutely loved it. So that was cool. He rode one other big ride. He didn't like that one as much for some reason, but of course we did all the other kind of rides that he likes. Bumper cars, and that one, I don't know what it's called, but it just kind of goes around in a circle and goes over humps, just around in a little circle. But you pull in about, I don't know, 38, 40 G's, something. I don't know, man. It's something else. You're moving in that little thing. I have a hard time in that one because I get pressed up against the side so hard. It was a fun day. I'm paying for it today. All the walking we did, all the getting banged around. I woke up this morning, felt like somebody had cut my head off and poured about 40 gallons of concrete in my body. I still feel like that. I won't be able to do nothing for the next 2 days. I need to go down to the mailbox because I'm pretty sure I got a package there that I want rather badly. Anyway, if you sat here and smoked the pipe with me throughout this ramble, I hope you enjoyed it. One of these days, there's quite a few of you folks out there that I'd like to sit down and smoke a pipe with. Quite a few. I'm going to be up in Oregon in September, I believe. Try my best to get together with Parson Rick, Miss Chris. We're going to be down in southern Oregon, Grants Pass area for 3 or 4 or 5 days, I don't remember. But I would definitely like to try to get in touch with somebody. We'll probably be up near Sacramento sometime before the year's out. There's a couple of cool dudes up there I'd like to hang out with for a little while. We'll see how we can work it out. It would just make my day to be able to sit down with a few of you guys and smoke, talk, not smoke, not talk, whatever. Just be. So, I think I'm going to do a VR here in a little bit for Sasquatch Piper. So if you're so inclined to hear me ramble again, I'll see you there. Otherwise, take it easy.